to the Mosk Pod. This is our third episode of the semester, and I got a lot of new info, a lot of different topics today. So we're going to venture off a little bit, and we'll end with sports as we always do. But I wanted to include more neurodiversity, a couple of updates on what's been going on. I've been better since last week after I lost my voice a little bit, being a little too active. Um, but yeah, we're back. Hopefully, it will be a great show. And yeah, um, today was a very easy schedule again. Today's actually a Tuesday, and we are normally on Mondays. And the reason for that is it's a Monday schedule. Since we had President's Day yesterday, they wanted to make up a Monday schedule, which benefits me because Tuesdays are my busiest days. Mondays turns into one class when Tuesdays are three meetings and three classes. Very busy. Uh, totally different day, and I am ready to give you all the info and, you know, talk some sports neurodiversity and give you those special announcements that I promised. And in addition, before I get started, I did want to mention that I am preparing in a few episodes from now to have Leonora from Give Grant, who I actually work with as a student advisory member. I plan on having her on in, I would say, the next few weeks. Let's say 3 to 4 weeks right now, maybe shorter, maybe longer. I will definitely keep you updated on that. And yeah, I started preparing for that. We'll go over the different awareness months, like um, Sexual Harassment Awareness Month, dating violence. It has to include all of them. And yeah, we kind of get deep into it as a club, or organization, I would say, on campus. But yeah, that program just started a few years ago, and I joined her after going on the Brownsville mission trip last winter, in the middle of the semesters, which was quite a memory there. Just helping out the community and the whole experience. I did get into it last semester of podcast shows. I got into it a little bit with Vincenzo, who was on a couple times. I hope to have him back, by the way, too, at least once, maybe a few times this semester. And we'll see if we can get any other guests, and I'll keep you updated on that. But for now, I have Give Grant coming in, Leonora, and possibly a few advisory team members too. But we'll have a whole show on that. Maybe the second half will be sports because I like to update that, but it will be mainly on the Give Grant program. Uh, and I'm also seeing if I can get some people from neurodiversity and people who've experienced it, mostly around campus, since this is Iona-based radio show or podcast. Um, that that means I'll get people at Iona from the neurodivergent community, maybe club members, um, maybe e-board, whatever. I will get into that too, since that's probably the most important thing, or one of the most important things to me. So I'll have a whole, I'll have a whole more couple of episodes related to that, as I've been well, as they started last week with neurodiversity. So I'll do it this week. I'll incorporate it as well as sports in all the future episodes, or most of them at least. But yeah, today's topic for neurodiversity, and I'm gonna get right into it. Um, so I don't know if I told you guys yet. I am continuing my mission trip journey. I'm going to Kingston, Jamaica, next month. Actually, in 2 weeks from now, we are serving in the mustard seed communities, which is home to like 10 to 15. neurodivergent homes, sort of. So they house people with disabilities and people who have struggled throughout life, sort of. You know, haven't been with families who can afford or haven't been treated with the proper life. So they go to these homes, or the homes, the staff, the communities find these people and welcome them in, treat them like a normal house and or in a normal community, and serve them, just do different things with them to make them feel welcomed. And that's what we're there to do too. For the week, we're going to visit many different homes, mainly Sophie's place, which is another or one of the Mustard Seed communities. That's where we'll be staying, and we'll be working a couple days there, but we'll be all around Kingston working at different houses, um, or community of the Mustard Seed communities. Um, and they all have different things to them. So Sophie's Place is a traditional sort of neurodiversity home. They have like 25 people, um, kids from 10 to 21 years old, maybe a little older. But they let them through the proper life. They treat them every day. Um, you know, just just yeah, get them through life. These staff are going out of their way to save these people's lives, who haven't been through easy times, sort of giving them hope in life, and they making them feel like a normal person. So I do look forward to that and all. Um, Let me just check my facts here, because I was I'm just basing it off presentation I gave a few days ago. Um, so yeah, what is neurodiversity? Just a brief overview. It's a bunch of brain functions, sort of thing. It acts differently in everyone, of course. But it's a disability sort of that people experience um, on a daily basis, every day, um, and so forth. Um, and it can really include, yeah, many stages in life. It's a diverse thing, and people have different disabilities, which we'll get into next. It's a very wide range of, you know, different learning, understanding, socializing, stuff like that. So yeah, basing off of that, um, I wrote five disabilities. There are more, and more than anyone could think of, because there's just so many different things these days, that people struggle with, and it's important to raise awareness and sort of understand what they're going through. But one is autism. I actually have it, and proud to announce it now. Used to hate being sort of defined as it, um, as an autistic kid. Just didn't sound right to me, but you know, I gotta take it now. I gotta sort of accept it, right? Because I do have autism. Um, I know I have a privileged life, which relates to down in Kingston, Jamaica, where they don't, and they're treating these people who don't have the proper privileged life. So it's a little different with neurodiversity, um, there versus here. Um, Still tough for me and others in life to get over that, and you know socialize, behavior issues, stuff like that. I know I've gotten much better at that. ADHD is another one. Some people that I know, close people have it. It's a based off of attention disorder, hard to focus for a long period of time. Um, Dyslexia is another one that's trouble reading. So you may have backup voice recorder things, um, anything that can read to you, maybe something on a technology thing, like something that scrolls and reads to you, or you can read it off of it, maybe highlighted, whatever. Yeah, just different stuff around reading. Um, Tourette's is another one. I would say that's constant movements and sounds, maybe unnatural ones. Yeah, and then intellectual disorders is another common one there. So all five of these, yeah, they are very diverse, a little different from each other. All have different things associated with them. I would say learning disabilities, comparing to autism, is the probably the top two most common ones. Um, I heard learning disabilities was actually the top one though. Um, yeah, and I guess learning about that in courses I used to take or taking now, whatever. Um, Very interesting to learn about them and hear what people are going through in that sense. Um, and then yeah, I just had some information about where I'll be going with a group of people from Iona to Kingston, Jamaica. We'll be visiting Mustard Seed, which I said, Sophie's Place, all the stuff I said, 10 through 21 years old, people living there. Um, Most of them, yeah, from the start, lives were just, left to themselves. Parents couldn't treat them properly and couldn't sort of, um, like, yeah, treat them. Um, it just left them to figure it out, basically. And the communities luckily run this organization and different housing that can accommodate to them, so they eventually find a place. But not everyone, not everyone. It's very tough to get through life that way, especially right after you're born, when you don't really know what like what steps to do or anything. And just, yeah, a reflection to hearing this again makes me feel privileged, even with autism, that I do get proper education, proper anything, um, resources close by that I need, and even parents that, I can live with and go home anytime I want. Even though I live on campus, they're available at any time, about 40 minutes from here. So I feel great about that. Um, and yeah, whatever effort I can do with the team when we're in Jamaica is going to give them the more hope, the more happiness, whatever brings to them, wherever they feel. But yeah, we're there to, make them comfortable, um, treat them like they deserve, and just give them hope, So yeah, I'll definitely mention how it went, sort of, if I expected it, or if it was what I expected or not, and anything I experienced or anything different like that. Um, so yeah, basically that was what I wanted to up for neurodiversity and update. And by the way, that is going to be my first time out of the USA. I know it's hard to believe, and it's not common. Like now, 22 years old, I am. I know I hesitated there because I'm getting really old now, um, and I don't like how fast it's going these years. But yeah, first time out of the U.S. I I look I look forward to it, and I hope I can do this as a sort of not obviously it's not a vacation, but I look forward to seeing these communities, how they're run all, and going to the beaches, anything in Kingston, Jamaica, or Jamaica in general, that really anything's going to be new, and I'm open to those experiences and open to helping out whatever is needed in these mustard seed community homes. Um, so yeah, again, I'll keep you updated on that and let you know how it went when I get back. That's actually our break. So yeah, and that's something else I wanted to mention. So our break will be the week of March 8th through the 15th, I believe. No, that's so yeah, that's the week. So the week is March 11th, and then that week, all that week to the 16th or 15th. Um, and we'll be back here, I would say, on the 18th, and we'll be back right away because we go on Mondays, or maybe Tuesday. Take that back. No, Um, there's also Good Friday coming up, and Easter Sunday, and Holy Thursday. And we'll get to that as well. And then Passover after that, just naming random holidays that will come up. So that, since this school is Catholic and experiences the Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and then that Monday we don't have day classes, so we go on a Monday schedule on Tuesday, just like today. So that week of March 9th through the 16th, we will be away, and we'll be back. I would say that 18th. I'd have to check that schedule again because that's a normal week where we're back on Monday, but a few weeks later, the Good Friday weekend, Easter Sunday, we will be back that Tuesday for a Monday schedule. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to update you guys on that. I know I forgot to update you last week that today's Tuesday and we're on because yesterday there was nothing going on except for night classes, which I don't have, so I was off. Um, just one meeting yesterday and that's it. Really easy day. Today, same thing, just one class, one meeting, and fundraiser. That was really it. Um, yeah. So getting into sports now. Let's see. I did want to start with a recap, sort of. Last week we went over the Super Bowl outcome and the halftime performance by Usher. I still say was one of the worst, if not the worst, in uh, halftime history. I know the older ones you could counter argue or argue that those were some bad ones because they didn't really get top talent and they didn't have singers. They had more dancers, stage presence, whatever you want to call it. It was a lot different back then, though, and it's gotten a lot better now. But this Usher last halftime just didn't do it for me. Not even close to satisfied. The last couple of years, The Weeknd, Coldplay, Bruno Mars, we had Beyonce one year, Katy Perry, whatever you want. It was all better than this last one, and I hope they can continue getting talent because I don't want this last halftime performance to continue a trend of these out of prime singers sort of, and having the backups or guests that come on as popular singers usually do better because they have only a few minutes of airtime because they're not the main performer. But they usually end up being better, and I hope that is not the case going forward. But I'm afraid it will be. Um, I just didn't like this last one at all, and from people I've heard, I'm kind of in agreement with them um, that they didn't like it and nowhere close to satisfied or good. Um, I just hope for better in the future. Even starting next year. You and again, I heard the trend was get people that don't have current albums going and new hits going. But I want to see that. I want to see like a debut of an album of a hit on Super Bowl day performing there. I did watch the NBA halftime performance by Jennifer Hudson, and I don't listen to much of her music, but it stood out pretty well to me. Again, it was shorter, more like a backup, but she was the main performer. But it only allowed her one or two songs of airtime. But she took it for she took it seriously, and it was quite amazing. The performance, it was just really short, and much better than the halftime Super Bowl. But I I just I just think Super Bowl needs to get these new um, performers or new current hits for these performers to sort of attract the attention more for these halftime shows. I know Super Bowl in general is a big draw, but this halftime just didn't deliver. The game was close, but it was very conservative to me the whole way. Um, the last touchdown was nice, but it was just back and forth. Pretty pretty much nothing going on the whole game. And once you see 0-0 in the first, um, at the end of the first quarter, 15 minutes, something is up, and you know it's going to be close, but it's not going to be much scoring. It ended up being a little high because it went into overtime. So my guess was 2012. It could have been that way, but it ended up being in the 20s, and Chiefs won after scoring to counter the 49ers go-ahead field goal. So Mahomes came in clutch. Kelsey got his his ring and got to see Taylor Swift back on the field. Um, They reunited, sort of. And then you know stuff went on. The ceremony. Andy Reid gave his speech like normal. Kelsey screamed, you know, um, "Go Chiefs!" whatever, and Mahomes was cool as ever, calm and cool as ever. So basically what I expected, just a little higher scoring. Still low scoring game, but I expected it to be that way. Um, so not too much unexpectedness there. Um, and then the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about the Mets' terrible offseason. It's really funny because you go from Steve Cohen, um, and then this new guy, and he's not a spender. He's saving money for these new guys to sort of ramp up and prospects to get into their prime. It's not going to happen right away, so that's why I still think 2027 is going to be our year, um, or later, and if that. Um, will Alonso stay with us the whole season? I don't know. He, I saw a story where he wasn't happy, and then they showed a speech where he didn't really show that he wasn't happy, but he didn't give an answer right as a normal player would. They don't give answers to if they are happy or unhappy with the situation of the team and everything. So, you heard words that were like, "I hope we have a great season," and I I look forward to winning, but it doesn't always go that way. Um, so story will tell by the All Star break or trade deadline where we'll be. for MLB, but that comes later on because we first have spring training this, I would say, Thursday. There's only one game, but games start to pick up this weekend, and I honestly can't believe it's starting. But being in Florida, you can really start at any time. It's not going to snow on you or be that cold on you. It might be cooler than the summer, but I think seeing baseball back will be good for the fans and the players being back on the field. Pitchers and catchers are already there. Now the teams are starting to practice and get ready for spring training. It'll be good. Mets and Yankees will start this weekend. So that should be fun to watch. Yes Network and SNY is carrying most of the spring training games and all season long, the whole season um, on those stations, and ESPN every now and then with Fox. Sundays will continue to be ESPN at 7:10, the prime matchup, wherever that is each week. And Sundays are early games as normal, afternoon games. Um, Other than that, with the Mets, I would say a question sort I have. Will Nimmo, because he was pushed to left field now, officially for the season, will Nimmo in left field be any different than how he performed in center field? Because now you have Gold Glover Harrison Bader, acquired from the Yankees. He was a free agent though, so just got him in the market, and he's a top-notch center fielder, not a top-notch batter. He's okay at the plate, getting better. But will he affect Nimmo's play in left field? Will Nimmo do okay in left field when he was doing great in center, making crazy catches, and you know, batting will be the same, but will Bader replace him? I guess is my question as a premier or better center fielder. He's shown to be or known to be, and I've seen him. He's a great center fielder. Um, and I don't know. I just don't know the answer to this question because Nimmo was very good in center field. And left field, I'm sure it'll still be good, but I don't know. I'm scared to think that he'll do better in left field. I just can't admit that at this point. Not gonna say he'll do worse, but it's just different for him. And Bader is known for center field, which is why you put him there. But Nimmo was top notch too. Um, we just have to see, honestly. And Nimmo needs practice in left field before his season gets going because it's a whole different um, sort of experience and outcome. Maybe we'll see though. And you got Diaz coming back. Bullpen looks pretty solid and great, or solid to great, somewhere in between. I would honestly say that that is our strongest part of the season coming up. Diaz, Avino, Yoshida, I think it was, or whatever it is. Um, the guy from Baltimore came to the Mets. Uh, he will be key for us in the bullpen and maybe a few innings as a starter, as a replacement. You never know what McGill is going to provide, Lucchesi. But you have Hauser, who said he was going to go every start and be ready every start. So that means without getting injured, which I would say he's been healthy most of his career. He's not a top-notch pitcher, or he's not even a mid pitcher. He's maybe a mid pitcher, but even worse than that. He is just inconsistent on the mound. Not with injuries, just giving up runs and only going 4 or so innings. it's just not good enough. Um, I hope the Mets have enough reinforcements to replace that, and we are botched if we get any injuries in the starting pitching rotation, which Hauser is. And I hope Senga can do what he did last year, just gain even more confidence, get even better. Ghost pitch is always going to be there, and this confidence really showed all of last season as a rookie, finishing second in the rookie votes to Corbin Carroll. Yankees, I look forward to spring training. I hope we see Juan Soto a lot, and I forgot to mention the Alex Verdugo one. He'll be good. Garrett Cole, you know what he's going to do. You know what Aaron Judge is going to do if he stays healthy. Um, and, you have solid bullpen, but it could get better, honestly. That's probably one of their weakest spots right now. Question mark on Stan, how he's going to do. Volpe, can he get better than his rookie season? He was okay, but he could get better. He has a lot of room for improvement. Um, and oh yeah, Blake Snell, who is still out on the market, will he become a New York Yankee? That will make all the difference to me, honestly, because that's a All-Star Cy Young type pitcher in back of Garrett Cole. I wouldn't say he's Garrett Cole level, but he's right there basically. So he could be 1-2 punch of the century of the history of baseball. And then you have Rodon, who could, perform like a Cy Young season if he wanted to, but has only shown that like 1 or 2 years he's been in the league. Um, Anything I missed with the Mets? I just hope Lindor can have another great season, go 30 for 30, as far as 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases, because he's going to get his hits and doubles, singles, triples. He has speed. He's going to play a top two in the league shortstop. He's one of the tops there. Um, Die for anything. He's going to lay it all out there. He has the long contract, so he'll be with us for a while. And let's hope the Mets can perform out of their mind and get a chance to beat these Braves and Phillies in the division. The Marlins are going to make a run and the Nats are going to stink. But the Mets, let's just hope they can do something this season, magical, sort of. Make a magical run, which is improbable to me right now, just because of the off season they've had compared to the Braves keeping their players and overall already every position being better. And Phillies adding, um, keeping but adding. They added Whit Merrifield, who might help them. At I think he plays third base or first base, one of those. He plays at infield, not shortstop. But he was with the Royals and the Blue Jays. Pretty good veteran to have. Only been in the league for a few years, but I would say he's a veteran now. Postseason experience, all that. With the Blue Jays, who haven't been good in the postseason, but at least Merrifield has experience for you Phillies. Starters, I wouldn't say they did much. Nolan Wheeler are two top-notch pitchers. I can't think of anything at the top of my head that they did other than sign Whit Merrifield a few days ago. Um, and with that, yeah, let's just hope Yankees and Mets can make these magical runs and beat our rivals, or just in general win our division. That will be key. And you know what it comes down to? Every year it comes down to beating the bad teams that you're supposed to beat. So let's hope these teams can do it, and they might have a chance. Um, NBA, it was All Star Weekend. I saw all of it go down, and I have thoughts about the whole thing. First off, Joel Embiid, and there were a few other players who last minute couldn't make the All Star game. But Joel Embiid, key for the 76ers to stay healthy. Again, he is not healthy right now, missed the All Star break, and he's out for 4 weeks as of a week ago, or a week and a half ago when we were on our last episode and it was announced. So he has about 2.5 more weeks to go if everything goes as planned. And they have a lot of games starting this Thursday. They're lucky it was All Star break only because All Star break gives you a whole week off if you're not an All Star or participating in anything. So you get a whole week to practice and recover and sleep in whatever you need to do. And yeah, with that, by Thursday, I think teams can start, waking up and performing better, especially teams that didn't have All Stars. Boston Celtics, even though they had two All Stars, are going to do well. You think the Bucks are going to turn it around in the Doc Rivers era after a bad start, and you got your West teams, Clippers, Nuggets. Uh, I would go even as far as saying the Pelicans. Definitely the Suns. Maybe the Jazz can make a run. Lakers for sure. LeBron's not gonna let them be out of the playoffs, so they'll make the play and then make a far run like every year. Um, I just expect that. But no, All Star Weekend was a hit or miss. If you watched it, I want to hear in the comments what you think before I get into it. Um, but yeah, I had many thoughts. Um, First off, Friday night provided us the celebrity game and the Rising Stars, which I actually didn't know if I would like the format of the Rising Stars because they've had a actual game between the East and the West for Rising Stars, or Team USA versus Team World. I think that was it for a while. But this year they chose to do four captains and pick like 6 players on their team. Um, I like the format because the first rounds, um, 2 versus 2, two matchups like that. First to 40, so you just keep playing until a team reaches 40 or above, and then the winner of that plays the winner of the second matchup, and then it goes into finals, and they play to only 25. Overall, it's a really quick game, but it's a really good format and something they needed, maybe not needed to do, but it's a needed change that looks better on this portion of All Star Weekend. Uh, my guy from UConn, Jordan Hawkins, really did well. He got them a good portion of the way to winning the whole thing of the Rising Stars on Team Jalen, who facts I actually predicted to win. It's not because he had, um, he didn't have Victor Wembanyama or Paolo Banchero or anyone. He had players like Jalen Williams, uh, the Jordan Hawkins, of course. Some other players. He had the hometown Benedict Mathurin, who ended up winning MVP. He missed a lot, but he performed well enough to get that. But yeah, I predicted right with Team Jalen as well as the 3 point contest. I chose Lillard, and he didn't disappoint. He came in clutch the whole time, hitting his final shot of the 3 point contest after missing the prior four of the last rack. He needed that one to win, and he was tied going into that last shot um with his last sort of rack. So he came in clutch with that fifth shot by making it and winning the 3 point contest that way. Um, and yeah, 3 point contest overall, I really liked it this season. Four players, being a lot of players, had 26 in the first round, so we saw a tiebreaker, which we don't see too often. They get 30 seconds, and you know Lillard got through. Um, Halliburton didn't get enough, so he was the one who went. And then it got down to Trey Young, Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, and of course Damian Lillard, who ended up winning on that final shot in the final round. Quite a 3 point contest overall. Very fun to watch. These players train very hard, and you could see it in their performances. After that, we had Sabrina versus Curry, the best of the WNBA versus the best of the NBA. Of course, everyone was predicting Steph, as well as me, being my favorite shooter of all time and the best shooter of all time. Not my favorite player. Or maybe, yeah. Nah, I would say he's my favorite player. I was inspired by him and all. And that got me into the long range liking of shooting. Um, I'm the I'm a 3 point shooter. I'm not a layup guy. I don't know why. But yeah, Curry really inspired me. I guess I have to call him my favorite player. I like the Brooklyn Nets, but Curry is my favorite player. Um, Sabrina Ionescu of the New York Liberty WNBA. They play at Barclays actually, home of the Brooklyn Nets. Um, but Sabrina, put on a pretty pretty good performance actually. She got the same 26. It wasn't a warm up round because they only play one round, 1v1 of a 3 point contest. She got 26. Curry missed a few in his second, or sorry, his first. They only played one. So he went right after Ionescu was done. Um, and it put pressure on him. He missed the first few. I was like, you need to start making them to make this close. And I was starting to make excuses why WNBA is using a lighter ball. Nothing against Ionescu, a great shooter, set the record for 3 point or points in the 3 point contest. And Curry was using the NBA ball. So to be fair, they were allowed to use whatever ball they wanted. Um, or saying that whatever ball they were used to, which of course Ionescu is used to the WNBA ball and Curry's used to using the regular Wilson NBA basketball. Um, and Curry actually turned it around as we thought he would, and came in clutch. He made his last five shots, the money ball shots, or four of the five, I think it was, and he nailed the last three. So by the second to last shot, it was over with, and just for calm measure, or yeah, just to you know secure his spot. He made that last one and got 29 points, being Ionescu, but it was for charity. Great cause, great event. I think they should definitely do that in future years, along with the 3 point contest, which they did. Uh, Nothing much to say about the skills challenge. Good for the hometown Pacers team of winning that, as the All Star game was in Indianapolis. So that was good. Clutch passing, shooting, The obstacle course thing was cool. Um, I would say it's a little too long, and I would say maybe keeping it to first to 200 would be good, rather than just doing 5 out. Um, Different events of the skills challenge. I was getting tired by the end of it, if I'm being honest. And while it was all fun, it was just it was just way too long. I liked the first one a lot. Again, that was my favorite part of the skills challenge, the obstacle course. Better than that, a little tiring. Dunk contest though was good. I predicted Mac McClung to win, and of course he won. Didn't have to do anything crazy. Jalen Brown got the judges to love him for some reason. He did the simplest dunk, and he gets one of the highest scores in the rounds of this dunk contest. Um, I thought Jacob Toppin's, Obi Toppin's brother on the Westchester Knicks, the G League team. Jacob Toppin had a great second dunk, and Jalen Brown had a boring, lame uh, second and first round dunk, I would say. So Jacob Toppin definitely deserved to be second place in this. And I honestly don't know why they were loving Jalen Brown so much, but they were right by McClung getting that 50 at the end. And I don't know why McClung got 46 for his first dunk because it was the best dunk in this contest. But McClung continues to save the dunk contest. It wasn't electric like last year, but it still was quality over the other dunks by the other contestants. The All Star game itself was really boring. A lot of 3-point shooting. Damian Lillard did his thing, staying time, as always, shooting half court shots and all. Um, Other than that, nothing exciting there. I was hoping for crazy lobs and dunks. Just wasn't happening. Jokic, I don't know what he was doing out there, making just random layups that he could have turned into crazy dunks or lob passes, crazy assists. There was like one or two plays maybe throughout the game that were crazy, but not on the level of past All Star games. And being that they scored, or the East scored 200, more than 200 points, being a record, shows how much threes they were shooting and making, which can be entertaining, but it's taken away from the rest of the game, which I hope it doesn't do, and I'm scared it is doing in the future years. So yeah, NBA starts again this Thursday. I won't go over the matchups due to our timing here. Um, but yeah, Nets play this Thursday. Knicks play on Thursday, and let's hope we can Knicks can continue their hot streak. They have a great roster. They've been good. Actually, they've been losing a few, but they've been very quality. One of the top teams in the East this season. Nets, on the other hand, not so much. Let's hope they can turn around. Um, oh yeah, firing of Jock Vaughn. What do we think of that? I think it was the right move myself personally, and it needed to happen sooner than later. Kevin Ollie, former UConn coach, taking over. Let's see what he can do right away. Either way, it's going to be better than Jock Vaughn's rotations. I hope he is pushing the challenge button often, which Jock Vaughn never did. I have lots of opinions on Jock Vaughn, and I'm glad he is gone right now. Good guy, but not a good coach right now. Um, yeah, lastly, men's basketball at Iona has been losing a few, but winning more than not. So, Gold Rush game was excellent. I was there on Friday, not Sunday, as they lost. Women's continue to win every now and then, but having not a great season. I hope they can turn around because, again, just like the men, we do have talent that can, overperform in a tough matchup. Um, yeah, I saw the women's basketball game the other day versus Ryder. Lost at the buzzer, was very tough, but I it made history because it was the first game I saw basketball end in a buzzer beater at home. Um, and then, yeah, losing to St. Peter's by 6. We had swimming, get a few trophies at Iona. And Akron Tumbling, made history by winning their first home game in, well, this is their first year of Akron Tumbling, so first year here. Uh, they won in their first home game. Um, so, yeah, Iona is in good shape. We got softball starting this week on the road. It'll be interesting to see. They'll follow the MLB schedule, so we'll know baseball's coming on then. I look forward to seeing the rest of these Iona sports teams. Again, incorporating neurodiversity in the next few episodes will be good. And then my review of Kingston, Jamaica and all. Um, that will be good. And of course, one episode of Give Grant coming up soon. So, again, if you have any comments, I would love to hear them down below. Any controversies based on this episode, or in the past, whatever. Make sure you leave a like. Again, comment, subscribe, and make sure you turn on notifications for the Mosk Pod and other Gales Radio podcasts. And make sure to join us next Monday. That's 6 days from now, not a whole week, since it is Tuesday. But we'll be back on Monday, and we will continue with our normal schedule and more updates on neurodiversity / sports and even more, anything else going on. So yeah, make sure you join us then. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next Monday. Thank you.